Hello everyone, welcome to another trading session. Today is 21st of March 2024 and we have a day after FOMC news release from yesterday's PM session. I'm going to check economic calendar, what we have for today, if we have something. So I see at 9:45 New York local time, we have S&P Global Services PMI, and then we have also existing home sales. So also at 9:45 and also at 10 a.m. So there will be some volatility coming to the market. So let me just note these times on my chart so I am aware that around here we should be noting that there will be volatility coming. I will start with ES first, but there are for sure some things that I want to point out, but let me start with ES first. So on the weekly chart, we can see we have already made a new all-time high. So it is going to be really difficult to say what's going to happen during this AM session, if we are going to see continuation to the upside, or if we will have some kind of retracement. As we are really at all-time high right now, also on the 4-hour we can see we are just coming back up. It's going to be really difficult trading session in my opinion. I'm just going to note the high on ES, and then anything else from here that I can see, the closest sell side liquidity is going to be down here, but I'm not sure if we are going that low. On the 4-hour chart, there is a fair value gap right here, but the most notable thing that I can see is the sell side liquidity. Then there is also this fair value gap, but I'm not sure if I will be trying anything to position myself in the long until some kind of sell side liquidity is swept. So maybe if I would have a trading like this, maybe I would try to go long, but I will need to see really like how the market behaves. It's really difficult this day. So there is nothing really that much that I want to highlight. It's just still trading inside the all-time high. So there is nothing really that stands out to me what I can expect. So I'll probably just jump back right into NASDAQ. So I have still a lot of things marked from yesterday. Oops, I have new week opening gap. I want to leave that there. So let me delete these things, this, and this. So we have an all-time high here yet to be taken. On the weekly chart, we can see we are really close. On ES, we already have taken the high, much more, whereas on NQ we didn't. So over here that I can see there is a huge volume imbalance right here, which will be probably significant. And also this is a fair value gap, which is still yet to be formed, but I believe it's going to be formed as it's still daily chart and we have still this candle trading. So it can go down here and maybe make the fair value gap smaller, but I think it would need to take much more to go down so much. On the 4-hour, I'm favoring that we are going to sweep this high. So I should probably be focusing on longs. How far is this one? Okay, so there is maybe a potential to get some sell side liquidity swept before we will reach higher. But really for now, there is nothing that really stands out. It's going to be difficult. This BC is really huge. So on the 1-hour, there are many fair value gaps. So really, it's going to be difficult. On the 15-minute chart, I can see here is a fair value gap, which might have some kind of sensitive reaction if the market goes down here. But I would assume that if we are going down here, we are going to sweep the sell side liquidity as well. I notice I'm not I'm not signed in. 1 second. Okay. I'm also seeing here that there are equal lows on this level. On the 5-minute chart, there is also a fair value gap right here. These equal lows looks really nice for the NASDAQ to be like building the liquidity here, sweeping those lows, and then potentially running to make an all-time high. That's a possibility. But I'm not sure really what should I expect from the market. It's going to be really difficult. I might not even take any trade if it's really not going to be that easy to spot an entry. In my opinion, I should be looking for longs, but I would need to have some kind of sell side liquidity to be swept, and I'm not sure if I can be favoring a long if just lows like this are going to be swept. I would really need like a major sell side liquidity pool taken out. Basically, what I can also say, we have SMT with ES and NASDAQ for these highs. So for this AM session, there is a SMT already here on these highs. And there is also SMT on the much higher time frame. That ES took out the all-time high and NASDAQ did not. So I'm not really trying to focus on these highs yet. In my mind, I'm still thinking we are going to reach for higher prices. Let's see if maybe here will be an opportunity once this is going to be swept. It's going to trade inside the 5-minute fair value gap and then reach higher. But also, as we are expecting 3 different types of volatility coming to the market, one at 9:30 open, then 9:45, and at 10, 2 different news releases. We might see the market being in a kind of a consolidation. I'm not sure. Every time that I say that, it's never in a consolidation. But I think this session will be difficult. So we are coming close to these lows. I do think we are going to sweep them. And if we are going to continue lower, I'm not sure. We have still like almost more than 15 minutes for the market to do something until it opens. In my opinion, if it opens, well, this time I'm not that sure. Most of the time I have at least an idea where it can go, and many times I am right, because sometimes it's easy to say based on experience that a lot of times you sit in front of the charts when the market opens and it clearly shows where it wants to go if it's close to a liquidity pool. But at this time, I would say it goes for that 18692 level, but it really just might go down. And I cannot even say with confidence that I'm more leaning to the upside rather than downside. I'm really like 50-50. At the market conditions like this, if the market is still showing bullishness around the all-time highs, I think you should still stick to going long. Just because you can never know when it's going to reach for the opposite direction. So I will see, depending on what kind of lows are going to be swept. And if we are going to sweep the all-time high, and if it goes even higher, if I would try to look for a short opportunity, that would be really difficult. I'm not sure if I would try to do that. It might give me opportunity for a small retracement, but to think that it would sweep the buy side and then go the opposite direction like the whole session, that's I think too optimistic to be asking for. So for now, I think I will just look at the markets, what it does. I think it might do something like this. This is very clear that this is going to be swept in any minute. And maybe it will have a reaction from the 5-minute fair value gap, because this one hasn't been repriced to yet. So that's why I think it might just go in here. If it's strongly bullish, it will respect it and then reach higher. So we touched the fair value gap, but we didn't yet sweep those lows like with quite more of a movement that I would try to anticipate. We have just made on NQ contract, not micros, it did the same low as this one. So this one was a bit deeper, but it's always going to be a bit different when it comes to a few ticks between micros and normal NASDAQ E-mini. If I would like to position myself before 9:30, I don't think so. Really, today might be a day where I will not put a trade on. If I don't see any really good setup and I don't put any trade, I would actually be happy, because I've never done that. So even that is kind of a trying to improve the performance. If there isn't anything really that high quality, you just don't do anything. So let's just see how the market books. Hopefully I will not get any FOMO, because that's one of the issues I'm working with. So hopefully that will not happen today. So let's just see what happens after 9:30. There is a small fair value gap here on the 30-second chart, but I think we are going to go down here. So even if I would like to go long, I would not be really confident in taking this long yet. Even though, let's say on this candle, on the micros, we have taken out these lows, but we really haven't yet traded inside the 5-minute fair value gap at least. So that's not yet a very high quality trade. And so far, I wouldn't even be tapped in. I missed like 2 ticks. Okay, so now we traded inside, but I think if still we are going to see the market going down here. So far, it traded more to the midpoint, more than the midpoint, but kind of respects it so far. But for me, it would not be a really high quality trade. So that's why I'm still trying to resist and not put the entry on yet. And to me, really, these lows now look more obvious that the market will drop down there, because it just made the same low. So we really might see the market drop down at 9:30 here and then rip higher. I was highlighting that there is SMT with ES, but I was actually looking at a different time. So there is no SMT yet. I'm looking at the trade idea that it would probably give some opportunity for profits. But seeing such volatility even before 9:30, I would be quite scared to be in a position. But the trade would be fine. The entry was 65575. I think 50 actually. So to this high, at least 20 handles would be delivered. So there was an opportunity, but I would try to demand more. On ES, I can see we already swept the all-time high and is now reaching higher. And NASDAQ is probably going to do the same even before 9:30. So really this is going to be quite difficult. To target these lows for a liquidity pool, if I would like to go short, this is a really good potential area. But to think that on this trading session we will see some retracement, it's going to be difficult. So even when there will be a buy side liquidity swept and there will be a displacement candle on the 30-second chart, it's going to be really tough to say that at such high we will see immediately the market going down, whereas it can just make a small retracement here and it just continue higher. So unfortunately, I would rather position myself in a long, which I didn't take, and I didn't like yet. So I need to wait. As we are so close, I just think at 9:30 we are going to spike up. I would be really scared to put a position in here. And to be even able to make a good profitable trade here, that's going to be really really advanced. I would need to be really like a professional to be able to do that. I'm not really believing in myself that much that I can do that. So let's see. I think we are going to reach for the sell side though. And it's going to be also the 25% of the opening range gap, which is a nice level. And I think we are going to see it any minute. Or it just reprices to this gap and just goes back up. So we didn't quite trade it that much to the buy side. So I'm not sure what we can expect. It might be respecting the 50% of this fair value gap and it goes higher. But so far it goes lower. So it might be reaching down here, as I think. No model yet, unfortunately. Not even on the 1 minute. I'm not sure if it was the last time or the first time on Monday did I try to make an entry from the 1 minute chart because I didn't have it on the 30 seconds chart. But this time, not even on any of them. You could maybe try to make an entry from here once it touched the open of the opening range gap, and also once it rebalanced this candle immediately. That could have been a really nice entry. I mean, it's really easy to say in hindsight how it looks. But I would be thinking, as we are really dead high, that we would see kind of more of a push to the upside rather than just sweep it by few handles and immediately seeing lower prices. I was favoring this sell side liquidity for sure, but in a kind of different scenario. But there might be an opportunity that I will try to go long from here. Because I still think this is kind of shallow. I think we should see more price move to the upside. So we are also coming close to the 25% of the opening range. And also let's see what is the equilibrium of this price range. So the equilibrium is inside the 5-minute fair value gap, which I have highlighted here, which is also nice. So there are a lot of things that kind of tells me, okay, here is a 1-minute fair value gap where we traded, but that's already like in such a price move of 40 handles. I would rather see it somewhere here to take it. I think this is too low. But we might see the market respect the fair value gap and reach down for the sell side liquidity. It doesn't look bad, but it's just something that I would not like to do. So there was an opportunity to go for a 1 to 2. I didn't see it, to be honest, first time. I just saw where it is once the market was going higher. So there was an opportunity, but I might even get another reprice higher. Maybe right here. Okay, so it touched the fair value gap, is inside already, but I don't want to take it. As I said, it's still quite high, still quite low for me to take it. But it might be a really good opportunity. I would rather have the fair value gap somewhere around here to be really safe, that once it wants to really go down, it doesn't have such an easy way to come back, let's say over here for my stop. So I still have time to enter, but I'm not going to. And this is exactly why. I think I would get stopped out already. Yep, I would get stopped out. Because what I was also thinking is, as we are trading inside this 1 minute fair value gap, I was thinking we might trade only to the midpoint and then go higher. We didn't do that. We repriced the whole fair value gap and traded even lower. But I would rather favor something in a different scenario. So we see the market again going higher, and it left the sell side liquidity here. So we didn't even get an opportunity to go long here. There is a small 30-second fair value gap somewhere around this level, but I'm not going to take it. I don't like it. So we touched again the opening range gap. We will see if the market goes higher or if it will respect it. Or if it goes down to the 30-second fair value gap. But how many candles that is? 1, 2, 3. So only one, so at 40, the trade would be invalidated. But I'm not going to even highlight it because still it's not a high quality trade. So I would not even be taking it. So I think it's not worth to note. And I'm thinking if I would want to position myself in a short for these lows. But still this price range, this is not that much. We're trading just inside this price leg. But the market can really be just waiting for the news to release. So there is a 1 minute fair value gap right here. Not sure if the market will respect it. So far it is. It reached higher, made the new higher high, an all-time high, whereas ES did the same. So there is also no SMT yet. I was also checking if we have SMT maybe on these lows with ES, but no. ES made the same lows as these ones. So for now we are just ripping higher. And it's going to be difficult to say where it will stop. I think there is nothing that would invalidate that it can still just go 200 handles up the whole session. It's in a place where it's really difficult to say. We might have a 30-second fair value gap here. This is how it looks. I don't know if I want to take it though. But I will try. I will try. I think this will be the only case where I can take it, but still it's like, I'm not sure. It's going down quite a lot already. So I think I cannot take it anymore. Yeah, I will not take it. Even if it retraces, I missed the entry. Not missed the entry, but I was not offered the opportunity. But if we will sweep these lows, I will try to maybe go long. But we have still 1.5 minutes until news release. So we have just now came back to the 30-second fair value gap that I was trying to go long from for this high. But as it's already taken the high, it's too many candles afterwards, it's no longer a valid trade for me. And this will probably reach here. I think during specific times, we are going to see the market move really quick. And I'm not sure if in such cases I will be able to be offered any opportunity for a trade. So a few more seconds until news release. So I'm thinking we might drop here to the 5-minute fair value gap, 25% opening range, sell side liquidity, and also around here is the midpoint, the equilibrium of the price range, this one. We traded back up to this fair value gap, which could have been used for an entry, to be honest. I can enter now short, but I don't know. I think to do it right after news release, it's quite not risky, but it is a risky. But I'm not sure what kind of move it will do. But I'm thinking to put a short from here. But I'm going to probably just let it go without me. I still have plenty opportunity to just click, boom, sell, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to see how the market reacts. Because also the gap is quite high. I would maybe need to go from the midpoint actually. And then reach for these lows. But the midpoint would not even be traded to. No SMT yet. Nothing really that high quality. I'm just looking at if maybe there was an opportunity to go short from this gap. So the midpoint would be filled in. Let me just make it higher here. Because that's a much safer and much better entry to take. Because my stop loss would be still inside the fair value gap, which is not nice. So I would rather be in the midpoint at least. But so far it seems that this was a really good opportunity. I didn't get SMT here, so it really wasn't that high quality. But how much is this? Is this already 20 handles? Okay, so there would be already first profit taking if I would take this entry. Here would be probably another one, and here the last one. Or maybe I will try to wait for the most of the position here, which will be probably hit, and then the rest here. I do believe the market will go here. There is another 1 minute fair value gap here, also on the 30-second chart. But I'm not going to do anything in here. For sure, I will not try to like position myself or like add in for shorts. For shorts, not at all. So also this one would be filled in, and that would be a really nice profit taking of almost, I think I would try to reach for 40 and the 40 would be hit. Unfortunately, I didn't take it, but I think it's still fine that I was able to identify the at least kind of good opportunity trade. But right now, I would try to look for longs. Ooh, but it might run. That was like a big reaction right away. It might still just reach lower. And maybe go down here. That's very much possible. So we did trade it to the midpoint of the price range. 25% of the opening range gap. 5 minute fair value gap right here. But we closed below. We might be just reaching lower. And maybe this one can be used as an inversion fair value gap. I'm not sure. But this would be, in my opinion, a good opportunity to go long. We have SMT right here. I'm not sure if NASDAQ will still try to go lower, or from this point on it will move back to the upside. Let's see if we will have some displacement candle on the 30-second chart. We might get it. And if we will have a fair value gap, I will try to go long. So there is a displacement candle, but I would need the market to not reprice the whole entire candle, and it was just done. So there is no fair value gap. ES is slowly coming back to the highs right here. So ES is coming back to these highs. But I would like the NASDAQ to start navigating higher actually. I really don't think this is all that we will have as a new all-time high. But I would rather not have my bias that strong. That I would just rather look for longs when in the end we will be really looking for bearish day. ES is just making a higher high than these ones on NQ. But I think we are going to see lower prices based on how the candles are closing. But we have still SMT on the lows, but I'm not sure if NASDAQ will reach here. Or maybe inside this fair value gap and the 50% range. ES is still going higher, trading inside a fair value gap which is somewhere around this area. So we do have SMT on the lows. Which I still like, but I'm really not sure what NASDAQ wants to do. I'm not that confident yet in any direction. And we have still news at 10, so in less than 2 minutes. And if I would have a fair value gap somewhere here before, I would not want to enter. I'm not sure what I can expect from that volatility coming in. And I'm not sure if this will act as an inversion fair value gap as well. It's really in a range which I just don't like. So there is displacement candle on the 30-second chart. There is a possibility to go from 640.25 here, but we have just less than 1 minute before news release and I'm not going to use it. Even though it is my model, but if we wouldn't be awaiting news release, if we would not expect news release, I would try to enter, but as we have news, I don't want to do it. I want to be safe with my entry. Even though I think if the market is bullish, it shouldn't be going anywhere lower as we have the SMT. ES is still trying to build higher and higher. So I'm thinking I might try to enter. Oh, I'm not sure if I can get it though. I thought it would be much more volatile. It's not. So I still quite like it. And as I saw that ES is reaching higher, I was thinking that NASDAQ will do the same, but I'm not really that sure now. This might result in a losing trade. But let's see how the market behaves. If I will have a losing trade, I'm not going to do anything else. This is really tough condition. And I'm thinking if I want to even strike for a high reward or not. I will probably close out everything here. If I get the opportunity. I'm not sure. I'm going to highlight the fair value gap. So this is the fair value gap. I actually entered in the midpoint, which is really nice. So let's see how the market behaves from this point on. I'm thinking if I would want to even put my stop loss to break even now. But I think I would maybe do it once we reach here, because this might act as a breaker. I'm trying to make a note of this. But I still quite like this fair value gap to be traded to. I still favor the market going higher based on how we are repricing today. But let's see what we can get. It came back to the 30-second fair value gap. Still trading inside this range. I don't really like it. I might even cut the trade short. But let's see, still even closing below the 25% of the opening range, which is not nice. Also still stagnant around this fair value gap. ES went much higher. NASDAQ not yet. So I would really like if the market closes above. Okay, so this is nice. So let's see if we can continue this price action and just reach higher. This back and forth trading is not nice. I'm looking at also SMT on the highs with ES. ES has made a high at 10. So ES has made a high and then is trading lower and lower, whereas NASDAQ has taken the high at the 0.4 and is now going lower, and it's even closing down. Again, it's not really high quality right now. I'm thinking to maybe cut the trade early. I think my stop is quite fine. I would not want the market for sure coming back down here, because if it does, it goes the opposite direction, like bearish. So if my trade is the wrong direction, then for sure I shouldn't be taking it, and I don't want to look for anything else. And it really might just stop me out. Even though ES is still quite high, I like how ES is trading, but yeah, this is reaching for my stop. So now in profits again, I almost got stopped out. I'm not sure if I want to cut the trade early. I think it would be really smart thing to do. But I think if I just put the risk on, I'll just let the market do its thing. So let's see if we can get the last push to this fair value gap. Not sure if I should have been trying to reach for the midpoint. I think I should have put my limit order here to be safe. Because if it starts retracing, it's going to be bad. I'm not sure if my chart just lagged. This is the first time that I'm seeing that the time goes, but everything just froze. Oh well. I'm not sure what happens. So we have not yet taken our TP. Retraces back to this fair value gap. I think I should. I think it froze again. I'm not sure what's with the markets today. But I think to be safe, I maybe should have closed the position. This is not looking good. Oh, and it's retracing. Yeah, this is not looking good. How much is this? This is... Yeah, I should have covered here. I think this is mistake on my part that I was greedy. But let's see if we can get it. I might just put my stop here. In case it retraces again down, I just want to have at least something closed out. There is a possibility to go short here, but hopefully it will not respect it and it will rip higher again. I would hope so. But this is also unfortunate that the market was quite laggy. And I might even lower my TP to here. Because I don't like this fair value gap. Okay. I was thinking that we will still reach higher. I liked how it repriced to the 25% and is reaching higher, but I'm just scared of this fair value gap and the fact that we traded inside here already and immediately had a reaction going down. I was just not really confident. And also my charts have started to lag. I don't know why, which is also something that I don't like. So I would rather be outside the position than having maybe my TP taken and not get filled in, then retraces and maybe even going much lower and ignoring my stop loss. I would not want that. So yeah, so far it's going back down again. So this is fault on my side that I was eager and trying to have what I want rather than taking out exits at a certain point, which is more obvious that it might not reach so high if the market is more in a consolidation phase. So at least that's something to study. And probably it was really smart for me to do this, seeing that it came back to my entry. And as I had trailed the stop loss, I would get stopped out. So at least I was able to get something out. And I will probably I will still try to review the markets, but I will not enter anything else for sure. This is really tough condition. I'm going to leave this fair value gap here and let's just see what the market does from this point on. What do I think will happen? It's really hard to say. We had consolidation here. We had reprice up to this fair value gap, immediately going back down to this balanced price range. Here is another 1 minute fair value gap that I can see. I'm not sure how the market will book. It might still reach higher, make a new all-time high. I was thinking that we will see that. I thought that we would see actually more of an upside movement. It is pretty unexpected from my side. I was thinking we would see completely different price action. But that's also something that I need to always be cautious what's going on in the markets and not demand a lot. But today we have made, let me see, we have made 197 USD. So almost 200, which is nice. That's really good. Let's see if we would get filled in. I'm not sure how did I. Let me see. Executions. I entered 639.5. I tried to reach for 30. It was one handle off. And I almost got stopped out. That was 8.5. So I'm still trying to see how the trade would play out. Okay, so we can see that the market actually came back to my TP that I was trying to reach for. In my opinion, I think I did the right thing as I saw the market really respecting this fair value gap. Let me remove this. As I saw how the market was respecting this fair value gap, I had already trailed my stop because it was so high and almost touching my TP. And as we can see, it really even went deeper to my entry. I would not be in the position anymore if I would not get filled in and if I didn't stop any of my profits. So I think I did the right thing that I got at least something because I would not like what was happening in here. So in my opinion, there was one mistake that I did where I tried to look for, let's say, fixed profits instead of taking out position and at a reasonable target, which is the low of this fair value gap. And at this price move, we didn't even reach to the midpoint. So that was something that I did wrong, but at least something that I did right was try to exit something. So I tried to exit at 20 handles and then it retraces. The trade was never, let's say, violated in terms of my stop loss. My stop loss was somewhere around here. So even if I would not move my stop loss, I would be still in the position, and we can see the market is actually running higher now. I was thinking that we would see it in the price move right here, but the conditions here were really, really hard to understand. I didn't have that much of a SMT that I would like. But we can see each candle right now is just reaching higher and higher. I was expecting this, but I was expecting it much sooner than I would like. And yeah, unfortunately, I was not able to capture anything that, let's say, higher rewarding, but I still made a profitable trade in a conditions that I was really not that confident. There was opportunity here that I also was noticing, but I didn't want to take it just because it was the opposite direction that I wanted to favor for today, even though I did identify this fair value gap, 25%, and the sell side liquidity here, which was a really obvious target that I could see. And afterwards, I was trying to position myself in the long. Once I had the opportunity, which was here, once the lowest low was formed, I was trying to take the position. I entered. We almost got the position taken out, but just one handle off, so we taken out at 20, and then we can see the market going higher. So for me, that's it for today. I'm glad that I was able to end the day on a positive of 197 USD in such tough conditions, in my opinion, really difficult conditions. So thank you very much for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in tomorrow's training session.